So let us take these two examples for analysis. First, let us take the equation z times 2 plus 3i plus z bar times 2 minus 3i plus 5 is equal to 0. This is an equation of straight line. Now what is the slope of this straight line? This is an equation of straight line because this is of the form z times some complex number p bar plus z bar times some complex number p plus some real constant is equal to 0, where p is nothing but 2 minus 3i, p bar is 2 plus 3i. So this looks like a standard equation of straight line in organ plane. Now what is the slope of this line? What is the slope of this line? That is, what is the real slope of a line? Real slope of line is minus of real part of p by imaginary part of p. That is, the real part is 2 by imaginary part is minus 3. So that is equal to 2 by 3. What is the complex slope of line? The complex slope of line is nothing but minus of z coefficient by z bar coefficient. That is 2 plus 3i by 2 minus 3i. This is the real slope. This is the complex slope. Complex slope right now does not have much of a meaning with respect to this line. It's just a definition for now. Real slope is exactly same as the slope of the line that you find for this using the concepts of coordinate geometry. That is, if you convert this equation into a Cartesian equation, the slope of the line will be exactly equal to 2 by 3. Let us do that. So how do you convert this organ plane equation into Cartesian equation? Just by substituting x plus iy in the place of z and x minus iy in the place of z bar. So x plus iy times 2 plus 3i plus x minus iy times 2 minus 3i plus 5 is equal to 0. So this implies, so if you multiply this, you get 2x minus 3y plus I times 3x plus 2y plus here 2x minus 3y again minus I times 2y plus 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. So I and I terms gets cancelled. So as you have expected, the imaginary parts got cancelled. So this implies 4x minus 6y plus 5 is equal to 0. So this is the corresponding equation of this equation in Cartesian system. So what is the slope of this line? Minus of 4 by minus 6, that is 2 by 3, which is exactly same as this. And complex slope right now does not have much of a meaning. This is just a similar definition that you have for slope of a line. So usually if you have this equation, what is the slope of the line? Minus of the first coefficient by the second coefficient. Here also, if you take this as an equation, if you consider this as some sort of x and this as some sort of y, minus of p bar by p is thought of as a complex slope. Next, let's go to this question. Here you have the equation of the form z times some p bar minus z bar times p plus 6i is equal to 0. This does not look like a standard straight line equation because there are two problems here. First is you have zp bar minus z bar p. For a straight line you have to have zp bar plus z bar p. And the second problem is that the constant term is a imaginary term. Before analysis, the constant term should be a real term. So first what we do is we try to convert this equation into the standard form. That is, we multiply the whole equation with I. So let us see what happens. Once I make this constant as real, let me see whether these terms look like a standard equation. So if I multiply it with I, z times 3i plus 4 minus z bar times 3i minus 4 minus 6 is equal to 0. I multiplied the whole equation with ni. This implies z times 4 plus 3i, and this minus, I'll try to send it inside, plus z bar times 4 minus 3i minus 6 is equal to 0. So now this looks like a standard equation. Z times some p bar plus z bar times some p plus some real constant is equal to 0. So what is the real slope of line? The real slope of line is minus of real part of p by imaginary part of p, which is equal to 4 by 3. What is the complex slope of this line? Minus of 4 plus 3i by 4 minus 3i. Now, as you can see from these questions, there are two important things to understand. First is that before analyzing for slopes of the line, you need to convert the given equation into standard form. If the equation is not given in standard form, the most usual non-standardness that occurs is that this constant will be given as imaginary. So whenever this constant is imaginary, you multiply the whole equation with I and get the answers. And the second important thing that you need to understand is the slope of the line only depends on these complex numbers. The slope of the line does not depend on the constant term, similar to what we have in coordinate geometry. So in coordinate geometry also, the slope only depends on the x coefficient and y coefficient. So here also, the slope of the line, whether it is the real slope or the complex slope, depends only on the numbers p and p bar. So once you note these 2 points, let us go forward.